action that we saw tonight at Craven Cottage in just a couple of minutes' time. Tim Sherwood and Owen Hargreaves alongside me will look at all of the key moments in the game, including goals from Sarabia, his first for Wolves, and that equaliser from Solomon.
In the first period, and Fulham come out and had to improve, and they did. And they caused Wolves a few problems. I said at half-time that I hope Wolves don't continue what they've done in plenty of games this season, sit back and concede the territory, and that's exactly what they did, and especially with the equalising goal. They need to keep on the front foot. They need to learn. Lopetegui needs to learn from this. He needs to watch the game. He needs to, in the cold light of day, dust himself down, sit down with the analysis guys and see why they keep conceding goals. And it's because they actually take a step back and they drop right onto their goalkeeper time and time again, and they keep conceding.
It's 15 points dropped from winning positions now this season, Wolves. It's not good, is it, Owen, when you take a lead in a game and you think you can go on and take all 3 points to drop them? But will they still see this as a really good point gained on the road, considering they've come to an excellent Fulham team?
That's a good question. I think when you're 1-0 ahead, you know, probably not. But I think there's no need, if they were a team that didn't really have any ball players, you know, go like when Burnley were in the Premier League, they couldn't really keep possession. These guys got so many ball players. So if you get a goal ahead, you just got to keep the ball. You know, force the team to run and then play into the channels. I'm not sure why these guys struggle to keep leads, because really you would think getting a lead with all the ball players that they have, they would thrive on the fact that you get a bit more confidence, Tim, don't you? Keep the ball, pop it about, and then wait for the moment to maybe go get a second. I'm surprised that they're giving away so many leads.
When you watch Wolves, they play such good football, don't they? The movement's always good, but sometimes the finishing just isn't there. Was that on show again tonight?
Well, the individual players are very, very good. You know, they can't put it together at the moment. And in the second period, I thought Fulham improved massively. They stick together as a team. They've got good individuals themselves, and they deserve the point in the end. OK,
well, from a Fulham perspective, they came from behind to gain a point at home at Craven Cottage tonight. And I'm pleased to say that Anthony Robinson joins us now. Anthony, thanks so much for joining us to talk to us tonight. How do you guys see that in the Fulham dressing room? Do you see it as a point gained, or do you see it as 2 points dropped at home?
I think I see it as a point, definitely a point gained. We've obviously went behind early on, and we were kind of under it first half, to be honest. You know, they came out firing. We like to start fast, and we didn't start up to the tempo that we normally do. So we were, really happy to come back in the second half and get something out of the game.
What did the manager say to you in the dressing room at half-time? What was his message? What did he want you to do differently in the second half?
He just wanted us to come out and be a bit more confident. Like we weren't ourselves first half. You know, people weren't getting on the ball like the way we want to. We weren't playing out as well. We hadn't quite figured out how they were setting up. Dropping a man in and letting them play out. So we wanted to press a bit more aggressively. We obviously made changes, which helped us as well. And to just go out and show the fight that we normally do every week, and it paid off in the end.
Anthony, when Adama Traore comes onto the pitch, I know every opposition player is difficult in the Premier League, but you know what he can produce. How do you go about stopping him? Is it to get tight? Similar to the goal, what you did. You know, we'll show you the goal now. I mean, you had to be very tight very early, and you muscled him off the ball. Talk us about how you approach when you play against a player like this.
We were obviously high up, so I had a bit of a chance to be aggressive and kind of get on him before he had a chance to get the ball out of his feet, and then it was just, winning a 50-50 and giving the ball to Solo. But players like that coming on, you've got to, know what their strengths are. Obviously, he's got pace to run in behind, so I knew that when he's deep and he can get a run, I've got to kind of drop off and protect him behind, and then when he's up the pitch and he hasn't got a chance to run, I've got to get tight to him and try and limit what he can do on the ball.
Anthony, first of all, I just want to say congratulations. 2 years ago, you guys came up and it was quite difficult. You had a lot of changes in the goalkeeper and the defence, and it feels like the spine of the team is so different this time around. You guys seem so much more prepared, and 6th in the Premier League at this stage is quite remarkable, really. Yeah,
definitely. I feel like that this team has developed a lot since those 2 years ago. We're a lot more of a mature team. We're a bit more savvy with how we do things, a bit more experienced, and I like to think that this time round we're giving it a much better go at it, and we're being rewarded with the points that we've got. But today we look at it a bit disappointing that we haven't got a win, because we set high standards for ourselves and we want to achieve good things. So we're looking forward to getting back on the pitch Tuesday in the FA Cup and then kicking on after that.
Anthony, you're very impressive this season, but no more impressive than online when we saw you doing that card trick.
Yeah, people keep bringing that up now. Every interview I've had, people bring a deck of cards to them. It's a little bit boring now. I don't think anyone cares about it anymore. I think it's worn off, so I've just got to try and play well now, because that's not distracting people anymore.
Well, it's the best thing I've seen you done.
Exactly. Yeah.
We were all very impressed, Anthony, I have to say. We watched it a couple of times this evening. Look, let's talk a little bit about what's coming up for Fulham then, because as Owen's pointed out, you're 6th in the Premier League. What are the dreams for Fulham this season? Are you hoping for a Europa League place, or are you genuinely thinking top 4 is in reach? You're only 3 points off it.
Everything's still in reach, and there's a lot of points to still play for. But we keep our feet on the ground. We knew that we wanted to try and avoid relegation this year, and it seems like we've kind of got that big safety net, and it's done now. So we just get to look up and be positive, and it's kind of nice to be able to be optimistic rather than looking in and around what's below us. So. We're going to go into every game trying to get the 3 points, and then come the end of the season, we'll be rewarded for all the work we put in, hopefully.
Anthony, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us. Well done tonight, and best of luck in the Cup in the week as well.
Cheers. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Oh, well, it sounds like we were way more impressed with his magic than he is, isn't he?
I know, I thought he was absolutely magnificent. I'd want to answer that question all day long, but obviously he wants to concentrate on the football, and the boy's been fantastic this year. You know, it was difficult for them when they first come to the Premier League. Managers come in, new manager comes to the club, they try and change the personnel. But he obviously works very hard, and very impressed with the manager. Must have been very impressed with him when he's come back to the Premier League. He's ready. I mean, he was very close to going to AC Milan. You know, it was only a medical will let him down. But I'm sure he's pleased that he stayed in the Premier League, the best league in the world, and playing for Fulham, who are flying high at the moment.
Well, the game completely changed for Fulham in the second half, and it was down to the substitutes that Marco Silva made at half-time, Owen. One of those being Solomon, who comes onto the pitch, and he also gets the equaliser for Fulham. He's made 7 appearances off the bench now this season. Could he be forcing his way into Silva's starting 11?
Oh, definitely. I mean, he's such a fantastic player. He's so direct. That's what you want to see from your attacking players, is the fact that positive. This is a little underrated. Lukic there. That turnover of possession. Robinson super brave against Traore. Most people will get out of the way of Traore there. But Robinson kind of comes inside. It just allows a bit of space for Solomon there. And you just see Sarr, blocked out because of Dawson. But it's a fabulous goal. It's a brilliant finish. And Tim, this is what you get from top players, flair players. They give you moments like this, and 3 goals off the bench is amazing.
3 and 3 for Solomon. Fantastic finish. Once he comes in, you know exactly what he wants to do. He wants to bring it onto his right foot. Dawson sags far too deep and blocks Sarr's eye line, and he just bends it around him. If Dawson doesn't sit that deep, if he comes 2 yards up with the other defenders in the team, I think Sarr saves that. I really do. I think he has a better look at it. He has more time to react. But unfortunately, his eye line is blocked. By the time it's past Dawson, it's too late. It's in the bottom corner. Fantastic technique.
Tim, you're the manager of Fulham right now.
Yeah.
You can't not start him the next game, can you, when he scored 3 goals off the bench?
Well, I'd have to give him a load of credit, because if you scored 2 in 2, you expect to start the next game. But the manager sticks to his plan. He obviously doing too well off the bench. He's an impact player. Perhaps he can't start. You know, that's the question you need to. But certainly it's worth a knock on the manager's door and saying, how about me starting from the off?
Are there some players that are just better coming off the bench, Owen?
Not many. Not many. I think some guys are more accepting of the role. I don't think William will want to be the type of player to come off the bench, you know, at 34 years old. I think right now, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Solomon's coming off the bench in deciding games. So he's only his 7th game in the Premier League?
7, yeah.
Exactly. So he's still kind of learning being in the Premier League. I think he's probably still happy to come off and have an impact. Eventually he'll want to start, but William's been fabulous this season. You know, they've got so many good options in those positions. So credit Marco Silva. They've built a solid squad, especially in attacking areas. The only one you'd say is when Mitrovic isn't there, Vinicius is okay, but there's a huge drop-off in the centre-forward position.
Well, could Fulham feel like they should have won it in the end? Because, as you mentioned, Vinicius did have a chance right towards the end of the match with this header. It's a great save, but should he score?
I mean, possibly he could get a little bit more onto it. Obviously, Mitrovic is better in the air. It's a great delivery in, and when he gets above everyone, he does enough. You see his neck muscles there just stretching, but he's right at the top of his jump there, and Sarr makes a good save getting there across. But Mitrovic, I would say, would have gobbled that chance up and scored. A little bit more power and gives Sarr absolutely no chance. But it's a good save. It's giving the benefit of the doubt to the goalkeeper.
Does Mitrovic score that?
There's no power on the cross. I think it's hard to get power on the header. I think if anything, maybe it's a technique where you go kind of back across goal, you know, with a looping one. I think in the end, for that one, I think he does really well because there's no pace on the ball. But I think it's difficult for Vinicius to get more power. But Mitrovic is one of the best in the league in terms of headers, so you give him more of a chance for sure.
In the end, though, as Anthony Robinson told us just a moment ago, Fulham delighted to be able to come back into the game and win a point in the end. From a Wolves perspective, though, Tim, they took the lead early on. Sarabia with the goal. They'd had an opportunity through him just a couple minutes before, but the second time round, he gets it right and gets the ball in the back of the net. His first goal for Wolves. Yeah,
he feeds off of Jimenez's knockdown. You know, they work the ball, they get it to wide areas. They need to keep delivering this ball into the box as quickly as they can. He plays the ball wide there and he continues his run. One touch out of his feet to Jimenez and he's great knockdown. His first touch gets away from him a little bit, but he keeps it down brilliantly, hits it into the bottom corner. And it was a deserved lead. I thought they were fantastic up to that point. But it's really important to keep loading the box up when you get into wide areas. That's what they haven't done this season, and they need to continue doing it. You see Raul there at the back post. He asks for the ball. It's a fantastic cross. And in the end, it's a great finish.
As you say, they haven't done that enough this season, Owen. So why did it all change for them in the second half? Because this was a great move, good finish, as we've seen there as well from Sarabia. But they couldn't keep repeating it.
But again, where Wolves, there was only really one or two in there against 5 or 6 defenders. You're never going to score in that situation. I think, obviously, when they turned over the ball, they get it forward quickly and they get bodies in the box. They get the cross in early, and it felt like it worked today. The Wolves are not, talent-wise, are not a 15th place team, you know, and they've got a very experienced manager, a good group of players. They just need to find a way to score a few more goals because talent-wise, they shouldn't be in that position.
Well, that point that they gained tonight at Craven Cottage means they are 4 points clear of the bottom 3. Let's hear what the Fulham boss thinks of tonight's result, though. Here's Marco Silva.
Marco, much better in the second half. What was the difference?
Many things different, of course. The dynamic of the team on the ball, much more. Our pressure, we improved clear our pressure. I think first half was not good from the start. The way we were not so aggressive in the pressure. The pressure not with the braveness that normally we do it, and you let them to start easy their build up, to start to prepare their attacks without pressure. And of course, when you play against sides with this quality, individual quality they have, and they have high quality on the pitch, on the bench as well, and of course create a scenario where they are too comfortable on the ball, and of course they create some problems. The goal they score is a good example, bad position from ourselves. On the ball as well, the dynamic was not the enough. Second half completely different. Our reaction, the way we pressed them, the way we were much more dynamic on the ball, the way we found the spaces for João to play behind the two guys, and after the way we connect with Lukic and with Andreas was completely different. And the two players they came in, they made an impact in the game that was important for us as well. And much better second half was the reaction that we should have done, but was the way we should have started the game as well.
Manor Solomon, that's 3 goals from the bench now consecutively. Is he pushing for a starting place? Is he going to be knocking on your door tomorrow? No,
not for sure. He knows all of them. They know. Of course, he's not knocking the door. They know at the same time that the door is always open, but he needs to do what he's doing. Of course, he doesn't have the time in his legs to play 90 minutes yet. Definitely, we have to keep giving minutes and minutes and minutes for him to be ready. But he's being really important for us, like we expected, because that we sign him as well. Great goal for him again, and let's hope he can keep playing this at this level from the start, from the bench. I want all of them ready for that.
You wanted all 3 points tonight, but as a promoted side, it's a fantastic points total so far. You said, look, we just want to secure Premier League football this season. You're way ahead of schedule for that. Have your ambitions changed now for what you want to achieve this season? No,
our ambition will be always the same. More than words here and my players to talk about it and all these things, we have to prove on the pitch our quality, and our ambition is there on the pitch that we have to prove the quality. Of course, we are really proud of I'm proud of my players, the way we have been playing, the way we have been achieving points, the position we are on the table as well. But we have to be humble enough to understand the quality that we are playing against. Good example, tonight, the quality they have, the money they spent last summer, last January as well, and we have to understand what type of teams we are competing. But about our ambition, we have to prove on the pitch every single match to prepare well the game. Tonight was a good example, really tough match. I think we react in the way we should, but we should have started the game in this way. And to be always with this right mindset that the players they have been showing so far this season show that they are working really hard to get it. And it's not easy to be always there winning all the games at the level that you are talking about.
Thanks, Marco.
Thank you very much.